All right, here's a bunch of clips that we took the other day at Paula, and I'm just going to talk while they're going through. And the most important thing, so when I start talking about technique and positioning and this and that, everybody wants to make the bike so much better. Everybody wants to complain about the bike, that it's not set up, not working right, not feeling right. They don't have the flow, they don't have the feel, they can't relax. Well, is just working on the bike, working on the bike, working on the bike going to fix the problem if you're in the wrong position on the motorcycle? Because again, remember, 2 clicks, 2 pounds, 2 millimeters change that motorcycle. All the weight on that motorcycle is down low. The more weight you put down low, the better the bike handles. The more weight you put up high, the more difficult that bike is to ride. So again, where are you when you're standing on that motorcycle? Where are you when you're sitting on that motorcycle? You're at a higher level than anything of that motorcycle. So if you weigh from 100 pounds to 200 pounds, it doesn't matter. At that higher level, you put yourself in the wrong position, well, then you're going to be unbalanced. You're going to make the bike work incorrectly because of 2 clicks, 2 pounds, 2 millimeters change the bike. Well, what do you think from 100 pounds to 200 pounds at the high level in the wrong position doing? Putting you in the wrong position. So that's why I'm so adamant about technique. Because again, wherever you have an imbalance in your body, in your technique, that is where you will be affected from, and your speed can only go to a certain point before that imbalance turns into a struggle. So that's why you want to make sure you get everything out of the body that is tight or not moving, because every joint on that body has to move to its true potential. And if it doesn't, you'll never use your body to its true potential in the way it's been designed to be used. Same with the motorcycle. Everything on that bike has to move to its true potential. Even just a little sticky, too much play, too low, too this, you're going to be affected. So same thing. That's why I talk about bracing and all these different things, because if your joints aren't moving, you are going to be affected from those positions. And if you're flat-footed, straight from the first point of contact from body to bike when you're standing. When you're sitting, when your hips are locked in, well, every time that you gas it and every time you're sitting, you're going to be affected. Or if you stand, you're going to be affected because your upper body's in the back of the bike and your lower body's in the front of the bike, and that is opposite. Okay? So this is why it's important to make sure that when you're riding these motorcycles, you're riding correctly. You're on your toes, because again, your toes have movement, your ankles have movement, your knees have movement. You rotate your hips out so it has movement there, because the back end goes up and down, left and right, and that's what your hips do. Your spine is straight, so then it has subtle movement in it, okay? A tree subtly moves, not just at one point. So when you round your back, now you have no movement in it. You took all that mobility out of your spine and locked it up into one spot, like you just got welded together. So that spine allows a little bit more mobility, and then that allows that core to stabilize yourself. Then all that right there will allow you to have loose arms, because if you're not riding on your toes, and you're riding flat-footed, your butt's tucked in, your back is rounded, then everything comes from your arms. If you're on your toes, your hips are rotated out, your back is straight, well, then nothing comes from your arms. It's just directing it, and then that allows your arms to be loose. And then, of course, hitting that with looking ahead, then you always keep that constant momentum, okay? So back to these things that people get on me about bracing and this and that. Well, your knees have 30 to 40% of interior and exterior rotation in them, and that's right at the seat. So that's a very, very important part. And again, if everything on that motorcycle has to move to its true potential, so does the body. So you are limiting the body massively every time that you put something on it that takes away from movement or stability.